We're on episode 4. Here we go. What's new, YouTube? TV Black Santa back with another video. We're continuing on our interactive horror story. And if you're ready for this, turn that gray thumbs up button blue. Hit that red sub button, turn it gray, ring that bell. And we're so close to 100, 2 subs at the time of recording. So it'd be very, very appreciated if you do subscribe to the channel. Help us reach that first milestone and keep growing from this point on. So without further ado, let's begin. You're a Goth University student with no friends. You join a school trip to take to a lake and the forest near it. If you decide to wander in the forest at night, you will find a bare footprint of those coming from a black hole with a ladder. Will you descend down? You're a young university... Really? You're a young university student who identifies as a goth. You're a lonely person who thinks that you want to be alone, who people think you want to be alone, but in fact you couldn't find someone you felt affinity. Everyone is so distant from you. Nobody you know listens to the music you love, like Bahanas, This Mortal Coil, the Sisters of Mercy, etc. I don't even know them myself. You heard about a university field trip to a lake and the forest around it in autumn. There would be a picnic. Also, alcohol is permitted. You could bring your own drinks. You join the field trip. Not only maybe you could make some new friends, but you also love the nature, especially when it's the cold season. But of course, you couldn't make any new friends once again. During these 2 hours of bus travel, you found out that every other student who joined the field trip were already friends. They simply ignored you. You didn't want to approach them. As a result, all you could do during the bus trip was looking outside the window or play games on your phone while you listened to their joyful laughters. You have mixed feelings about this picnic by the lake. You can't feel yourself as a part of the joyful youth who are enjoying the nature trip. After having a picnic barbecue, they played a game with a ball in which they formed a circle and tried not to let the ball touch the ground. Everyone participated in the game, except for you. But you enjoyed the nature trip somehow. As said before, you love nature. You took pictures of the lake with your phone. You don't plan to post the pictures anywhere though. And there's a huge forest near the picnic area. You've always found peace in the green of the forest. After the sunset, people began to light a campfire and drink. People around your age generally prefer beer, but you don't like it. You feel it overfills your stomach and causes nausea after 2 cans. Instead, you prefer stronger drinks. Today you bought a bottle of red wine and a wine glass. They gathered around the campfire while you drank your wine alone, away from them. A handsome guy brought his guitar from the bus and began playing it around the fire. While you had finished your second glass of wine, the campfire moon illuminate darkness. There are about 5 hours for the picnic to end. You're about to be going back to the city with buses. He's playing a calming song. You might join the group, but you also feel a strong urge to walk in the dark forest. Let's try to be social. We'll join the group. You approach the group. 2 girls notice you. They open a space for you to sit between them. One of them is blonde, the other has long black hair. They wear colorful outfits, contrasting with your black outfit. What's your names? Oh no. The one with the black hair says we have boyfriends. I only ask your name, don't talk to them, leave without saying anything. I only ask your name. You're trying so hard, aren't you? The blonde one says, and they both laugh. Should I? Well, this is for the jokes, for the laughs. They don't like what you say, but they don't react either. They keep sipping their beers as you leave them. You can stay with the other students or go to the forest. Let's stay. Nothing interesting happens in the rest of the day. You finish your bottle of wine and can't make any friends as usual. When the time comes, you get on the bus and go back to the city. Yet it's a lame ending. But at least you're still alive and human. The end. You have 3 endings, so 2 more to go. Yeah, we go to the forest. You stand up and wander away from the picnic. You feel the call of the darkness, so you walk along a path into the forest. The trees are high and still green. Maybe they stay green in all seasons, but you don't know you You don't know. Your field is not biology. The soil is wet and muddy. It must have rained before your group arrived at the lake. You leave boot prints in the soil as you walk. There's no clouds in the sky. Full moon and stars illuminate the forest, but not enough for your eyes. You turn on the flashlight of your phone. There's an app for it too. Of course. You naturally can't see but notice rabbits in the distance. Naturally, they run from you as they notice your presence. You begin to think that you might have gone too far from the picnic area, but there's nothing interesting in the picnic area. You somehow feel like the only darkness in the forest is your friend. Only friend. Yeah, we'll continue. You continue on the forest path. After a few minutes, you notice footprints in the soil. They seem to belong to a human with bare big feet. Probably a man. The prints across the path. Yeah, we'll follow. You follow the footprints on the soil. They keep changing directions. You find yourself at an elevation and the prints stop there. Whoever was walking didn't leave prints. Those you could follow anymore. You might have gone anywhere as he didn't follow a single direction. We'll follow the route back. You decide to go to the place where he comes from. After a long walk, you find yourself at a hole. There's a lid and a long rope near it. The man clearly comes from the hole. His footprints prove it. When you hold your phone's light into the black hole, you see that there's a ladder inside the hole. There's a lot of holes here. You can't see the end of the hole from your position. As a curious and drunk boy, you feel a strong urge to descend. As you need to use both hands to climb down, you put your phone into your jeans pocket, turning off the light. You start climbing down. After a few seconds, the moon and stars above no longer illuminate what you see. You're in pitch black, and the ladder still continues. Finally, your feet touch the ground. You're so distant from the forest that you can't see the entrance of the hole from where you are. You carefully get on your 2 feet. You see nothing yet. Turn on our light. The place where you are is made of concrete. There's a long corridor in front of you. It is narrow, about a meter wide. It is not very high. There's only a few centimeters between your head and the ceiling of the corridor. You smell a terrible odor. It is a mixture of feces and something you can't understand. There are 3 doorless holes along the concrete corridor, making 3 rooms to discover. Number 1. There's an empty wooden coffin. A mirror hangs from the concrete wall. A bloody razor and a black whip stand in front of the mirror. In the mirror, you see your reflection and the terror on your face. We'll try 2. You're shocked to find the chain woman in the room. The chain is tied to her ankle. She looks in her 40s, too weak. Her bones are noticeable. She has pale skin with lots of scars. She's on her knees. She's naked. Her body is lightly hairy, except for not saying that. Contrasting her hairy body, her head is shaved. She stinks. Not only the smell of feces, but it looks like she hasn't washed for years. She screams as you point the light to her. Who are you? She doesn't answer your question, but yells with despair, "Help me. He keeps me here." We'll try to save her. You crouch down to her tied foot. There's no way you can remove the bracelet from her ankle. You notice that her pinky toe is missing. What happened? He made me eat it. You crouch down. There's no way you can remove the bracelet from her ankle. Let me try to find the key. You try to leave the room, but something you don't understand happens. At the exit of the room, you hit something that wasn't visible in front of you. Yes, you saw nothing in front of you, yet you hit something. You fall onto the floor, and an invisible force carries you and repeatedly smashes your head onto the wall. You hear the woman screaming as you black out. When you wake up, you find yourself lying on the concrete floor in pitch darkness. By the smell, you understand that you're in the same place. Whoever is keeping you captive, he stripped you of all your clothes. You're naked and cold. There's a gag on your mouth, so you can't shout and communicate with the woman. She might be gagged too. You stand up and try to walk away, but your ankle is tied with a chain. You could only You can walk only in the chamber with 1 meter of radius. Your foot touches a metal bucket. It's probably where he expects you to defecate. That means poop. You lose all of your sense of time here. When you wait for an immeasurable amount of time for something to happen. You're thirsty and hungry. Sometimes you hear your phone rings. It is in a different room. The radio melody. It is feared by within temptation. It is an ironic name for your situation. They probably noticed that you were missing and tried to reach you. Especially your parents. It must have became mad. Of course, you can't answer the call. Finally, you hear your footsteps. Jeez. You hear your captor coming to your room. You're unable to see anything. He takes your gag off. Apparently, he has no problem with seeing in the pitch black. You hear his voice. Drink. It belongs to an old man, a dominant ordering force. You feel the tip of a bucket on your lips. We ask, who is he? I am your new master. You better behave well. You're mine now. Now drink or I won't give it to you once again. Or I won't give you it once again. Drink. It is water he is offering. You drink it, not the best water you drank. It could have been taken from the lake, but you have no other choice, it seems. After you drink enough, he puts the bucket around on the ground. Now he brings you something else to your lips. Eat. You're too hungry to refuse. We eat. You allow him to put the thing in your mouth. It's meat. It's raw. You would never eat raw meat except for sushi, but now you chew it slowly. It's rabbit, he says. You swallow the meat, despite how it disgusts you. After you eat all he gives you. He puts the gag in your mouth and leaves the room without saying another word. After a while, he comes back as you are lying on the floor. Stand up, he orders you. You get on your 2 feet clumsily. He grabs your body and you feel 2 sharp fangs on your neck. He starts draining your blood. As you understand the true nature of your captor. So he's a vampire. You have no idea how long you have been prisoner here. You're mostly alone in the room, doing nothing with a gag in your mouth. He occasionally comes back to feed you and himself. Sometimes you hear loud sounds from the other room. He tortures a woman and screams and begs for him to stop. She screams and begs for him to stop, but he doesn't. You hear a whip hit the naked flesh of the woman. But for some reason he doesn't harm you, only the woman. You haven't seen anything for a long time. You have no idea what he looks like. Sometimes you hear sobbing, but it doesn't belong to the woman, to the captor. He cries loudly for some reason. Some day or night, you can't figure it out, he shows up and takes your gag off. I've done research about you, learned everything about you. He says your name, shocking you. We have some common points. We both like the dark. We are both outcasts, lonely souls in a world of darkness. I will make you an offer, only once. So make your decision wisely. I can make you immortal like me. You will no longer be in chains. You'll have a life or unlife in the dark, like you always have wanted. Or you could stay as immortal and wait for the day you will die here as my prisoner. So I think these are the other 2 endings where we take his offer or we refuse it. I think we will refuse it this time. Suddenly you feel sharp pain on your shoulders. You hear a loud sound of a whip. He whips you continuously, feeling zero empathy for your agony you feel on your bare skin. You could have been a predator like me. You chose to be a blank toy. You're mine to torment. Do you understand, idiot? He shouts at you. He kicks you and leaves you sobbing on the floor. You could do nothing but hope that sweet death will come soon. But it never comes. Yep, that was ending number 2. Ending number 3, here we go. Alright, now we choose to be immortal. Very well, he says, stand up. You stand up and allow your master to embrace you. You feel his fangs on your neck once again, but this time he doesn't stop. You feel your whole blood is getting drained. Soon you lose consciousness. Yup, red text meaning we got the bad ending. You open your eyes. You find yourself lying in a wooden coffin, but this time you are able to see. There isn't any single light source in the concrete room. but your environment see as if you see your environment as if you're wearing night vision goggles. You're wearing old clothes, also gloves, so you can't see your skin. You've lost your hair. It is a shed. It is shed. Your old hair is on the coffin part where you put your head on, and you feel your face change too. But most significant other is an unbearable thirst, but not for water. Welcome to a new start, my child. You hear his voice. You look around the room, but you can't see him. There's 2 coffins and a mirror in the room, so I think we're in room 1 now. They think that our kind can't be seen on the mirror. False. Take a look at yourself. Step outside the coffin and walk to the mirror. You are in terror with what you see in the mirror. You don't carry a human face anymore. Your skin is scales like a snake. Its colors are light gray, almost white. Your ears are long and have pointy tips. Your eyes are all red. You slowly open your mouth to see your sharp teeth. You scream, break down, and cry in despair. Then you feel his hand, claw to be exact, on your shoulder. He stands on your back. Stands on my back. Okay. Now you are able to see his hand. It is scaled like your skin. Look at him, he orders you. And for some reason you can't disobey your order. Your master. You involuntarily look at the mirror to see an immortal entity behind you. His body is tall, naked, and has a humpback. His skin is almost white and scaled, but his face is the ugliest thing you've ever seen. I wonder what that looks like. It's the embodiment of evils, torture, murder, and, not saying that, and envy. Envy for everything that is pretty and fair. I will teach you everything I know, and your new and only parent says with a hideous smile. Okay, so we got all 3 endings. Loki, I kinda like this, but I don't like it as much as the Crystal Skull. The Crystal Skull was honestly something that hit home, but if anything, this reminded me of a horror movie, so that is a good thing. It's a very good thing. Okay, yeah, outro time. So like we're like 2 subs away from 100. It's like can't believe it, but I can believe it because I have my stats up almost all the time, and I'm just checking it non-stop. So that kind of, helps me keep up to date and see how my vids are doing. And I just want to say thank you for all the support that these videos have been getting, because I didn't expect my first ever series to be like this. If anything, I expected me to just talk about commentary stuff, whatever happens in YouTube. But no, I've actually had fun making this, and I'm glad to be doing this. So yeah, if you really liked it, turn that great thumbs up on blue, hit that red sub button, ring the bell to show your support, help us get to that 100 mark, because we've been scratching and clawing for that point for the very longest, like just over a year to be exact. And like we're almost done with the series too, so keep showing your support, keep giving me good reviews, telling me what you like, dislike. I'm reading the comments all the time. I'm always checking them, seeing what's new, what's not new, just everything. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, like I said, turn that great thumbs up on blue, hit that red sub button, turn it gray, ring the bell. And yeah, that's really it for today. Catch y'all tomorrow. SANDA out. Peace.